Welcome to the Marketing Smarts live show by MarketingProfs and Marketing Smarts podcast, where we dive into B2B news, resources, valuable guest content, and much, much more each and every week. Hey, if you're a B2B marketer looking for a place to learn, keep up to date, and have some fun along the way, grab a beverage, a notepad, or at least some style of writing utensil, and welcome to the show. Hello to all my Marketing Smarts live viewers today. I'm super excited to bring you, I think it's episode 61 already of the Marketing Smarts live show. This week's topic is all about generative AI-powered conversations and the Conversation Automation Index. So if you're ready to get your learn on, buckle up and let's get ready to rock and roll. You know me, hopefully, unless this is your first time here, but if not, I'm your boy, George B. Thomas, speaker, trainer, catalyst, and host of this here show, the Marketing Smarts live show, as well as the Marketing Smarts podcast found on your favorite podcast app. Our guest clips today are brought to you by none other than David Greenberg. David Greenberg is the CMO at Conversica, a conversational AI platform. David has over 20 years of experience as a marketer and go-to-market leader with deep expertise in building high growth organizations that disrupt the old way of doing things. He is deeply passionate about using the technologies to create significant step changes in the business. Prior to joining Conversica, David was the CMO at Acton Software, where he was responsible for the overall strategy and execution of the marketing and product functions. David has also held numerous senior executive positions across groundbreaking organizations such as Jive Software, Airship, and LiveOps. Now, remember, the clips of David Greenberg today are pulled from the full Marketing Smarts podcast episode. And if you want to listen to the full interview with David Greenberg and myself, make sure to tune into the Marketing Smarts podcast. Link to the full show will be in the description below after the live show ends, or you can search your favorite podcast app. Now, in this episode, again, I'm talking with David about generative AI-powered conversations and the Conversation Automation Index, which you can Google the Conversation Automation Index and download the report. But in this first clip, I wanted to dig into the AI-powered conversations and possible benchmarks that B2B companies might be able to pay attention to and therefore make smart decisions for their B2B organization moving forward. Here's what David had to share.
Yeah, I think that probably the most important thing that comes out of it is it benchmarks the average across your various segments. So people can look at it and self-identify whether they want to do it by geo, industry, function, and see where they sit compared to others. So with these new metrics, we now have sort of like a benchmark. I know back in the day when you would look at click-through rates and you talk about like, the average benchmark is 3.5%. And you would use that as sort of a gauge to better your own performance inside your organization. So I would just say at the high level, similar here. It's people can look at it. On average, our customers reach a 25% conversation rate. So that means 1 in 4 of the people you engage with the AI actually engage and have more than a two-way conversation. Like a pretty important metric, because that's a deeper quality than you would say an open rate or even a click-through rate, as an example. And similarly, 12% of overall our customers reach the conversation qualified rate, meaning over time, 12% of them say, yeah, I'd be willing to take that next step, whatever you define it to be. So, I think there's a real opportunity here for people who are in particularly the industry area. Like we all know industries perform very different. That's why there's this construct called industry marketing, and you need to approach those differently. So I think, looking at through the industry lens is probably the first place I would start to benchmark yourself.
Are you leveraging AI-powered conversations? Do you have benchmarks to help you measure your success or failure moving forward? Heck, do you think AI-powered conversations are even right for your organization? Put the answer to that in the chat pane and let me know on X using the hashtag MPB2B, and of course, tag me using @GeorgeBThomas. Now, we'll get back to David Greenberg and his thoughts on generative AI-powered conversations and the Conversation Automation Index. But first, I have to ask, Are you part of the Marketing Profs community? If not, become part of the Marketing Profs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's mprofs.com/MP today. Now, it's time for one of my favorite sections in the B2B news, where we talk about breaking B2B news or really important tips we find on the Google News tab related to you and your B2B business. This week, the title is Generative AI in Marketing and Sales, 8 High-Impact B2B Use Cases by Shidra Lair. Hopefully, I said that right, but here's the deal. Discover how generative AI in marketing and sales is reshaping businesses. Learn from experts about its impact on revenue, partnership, and task augmentation. Wondering what the gist of this article is? Well, it's not just efficiency. Sales and marketing leaders are getting more comfortable with leveraging generative AI tools for revenue generation and boosting profits. It's not just internal. Generative AI is amplifying marketing and sales outcomes, not just for internal teams, but for channel and strategic partners externally too. It's not just automation. Generative AI is marketing and sales is all about task augmentation and B2B organization and realizing the compounded effect of human plus AI efforts. When ChatGPT stormed into our lives in 2022, sales and marketing pros recognized it as a tool to make work more efficient, lower expenses, time and effort across multiple tasks related to their jobs. They were about to discover generative AI in marketing and sales. Listen, to read this article, check out the link below when the live show ends. Actually, I believe it's right there, but continue with the show, then check out the link. Let's get back to David and his Marketing Smarts podcast episode. In this second clip, I wanted to dig into the hurdles or pain points that B2B organizations might be facing and how generative AI or AI-powered assistants can help you and your organization get over those hurdles. Here's what David had to share about this conversation piece.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked a little bit earlier around starting with something you can digest and finding a high value pain point that you can focus the project on to get started. We talked a little bit around applying this to the funnel. I'll throw out two very common pain points you see universally across B2B marketers are, how do I appropriately follow up at scale in a timely way? And also, how do I make my current leads be better quality? So those are two fairly universal marketing pain points that I think you can use generative AI or digital AI-powered digital assistants to help improve your funnel performance and velocity. So I think that's one thing, is just stay focused on the one high value place. The other one too is, I think over time, this may be an over time thing, not right now. Companies are, especially large organizations, I hear all the time many of our customers forming AI ethics committees, organizations on how they appropriately want to bring it in and what guidelines and what sort of protocol and rails have to be in place for that. And I think that's something we're going to see more and more, especially as you go up market into larger organizations where they're bringing this in more broadly and in many more different groups. So I would say, and the first one's a no doubt to me. The other one we'll have to wait and see a little bit, but I would anticipate that as being something you have to think about and connect to as you start bringing AI into your company to supercharge it.
Did you hear that? Get started with something you can digest. Find your high value pain points in your organization. Were you agreeing with what David called universal pain points, by the way? Did you hear him in there? Do you have an AI ethics community or terms of use in your organization? We'll return to David Greenberg in a few minutes, but first it's time for some dope B2B learnings from the vault of MarketingProfs articles. That's right, it's time to dig into the treasure trove of valuable information and pull out 2 pieces of gold to help you be a better B2B marketer. Article number 1 this week is 3 Ways Generative AI Will Change B2B Marketing by Christopher S. Penn. Generative AI, the use of AI to create content such as images, text, and video, is everywhere. You can't read online without running into some piece about ChatGPT, GPT-4, or other large language models, LLMs. Generative AI tools have captivated the imagination of millions, but what do they have to offer the B2B marketer? How will you be applying them in your work? You'll have to read the rest of that article, by the way. Article number 2 this week is 3 keys to safely using generative AI in marketing by BrandGuard. Now, on MarketingProfs, of course, but sponsored by BrandGuard. In the fast-paced marketing world, staying ahead of the curve is crucial. Marketing teams must continually innovate to capture the ever-elusive customer's attention and drive conversions, aka conversations. One such innovation that is taking the marketing world by storm is, you guessed it, you know what I'm doing here, generative AI. Reasons to use generative AI in your marketing. If you're still on the fence about embracing AI technology, here are compelling reasons why your marketing team should use generative AI to market your products. Of course, I'm going to stop there and tease that you need to read the article. That's right. Want to keep learning more? If so, check out the links in the description below after the live show ends to get access to both amazing MarketingProfs articles. Okay, back to David Greenberg. Let's dive back into this conversation of generative AI powered conversations and the Conversation Automation Index. In this next clip, I wanted to know what AI powered success looks like in modern organizations. While David thought it was a tough question, he did have some thoughts and a great answer for us. Here are his thoughts on what AI powered success looks like.
Tough, but good question, and I'll try to answer it the best I can. Certainly you would expect to see major step changes in your revenue and your P&L and how your company performance. But I would actually offer that I think really what success looks like is that AI has been deployed in the right way with people. And we have this concept, at least at Converska, and I'm a strong believer in this, that this is going to really change how you think about how you organize and where you deploy people. Even in business today, there is a massive amount of highly repetitive work that people do. And I really think this is an opportunity to break free of that and to get people doing what they're really good at. I talked about the sales development function. How many emails and phone calls, and yeah, there's been some new technologies that have made it go a little bit faster, but it's fundamentally the same way. Businesses don't design their workforce differently. And so I think success here is going to be organizations think about deploying and designing their workforces differently, where people actually do stuff that people are really good at rather than repetitive tasks. And I hear a lot, and it's a real common pushback point you hear in the market too, and I would offer out, at some point, this is going to be a tipping point. And it's actually more of a how you design your workforce to get maximum yield in the business. And so anyway, that's where I think success will go.
Have you started hiring employees based on their AI skills yet? My question is, will you in the future? Have you been thinking about how to plug in AI into your organization over the next 3 months or 3 years? 3 years is a really long time. If not, 2024 is the year this needs to happen for you. Now, if you've watched this show for any length of time, you know that here in the future, we're going to get some words of wisdom from David Greenberg in just a few minutes. But right now, it's time to turn the spotlight on my favorite people, you, the MarketingProfs community. Yep, time for From the hashtag MP B2B community. We search far and wide in the hashtag MP B2B universe to find amazing information and conversations to bring to you, the masses. So first, make sure you're using the hashtag, and second, make sure you have fun and add value to the community along the way. Then we'll spotlight you or your crew on the show. This week, it's Jason Lawrence. Hopefully, Lawrence, Jason, I said that right. But he's a certified Salesforce administrator at MarketingProfs, and the post is on LinkedIn. But his post goes something like this. And it's truth, by the way. Email open rates got you down. Truth is, they've never been a reliable metric for sales. Instead, focus on the big picture, including click-through rates, conversions, reputation. It's important to get moving in the right direction ASAP, because Google and Yahoo, hopefully you've seen the notifications, will roll out new spam regulations in February 2024. If you haven't seen it, there's a link in that description in the show notes. Anyway, hashtag MPB2B. That's what got it on the show. Hashtag B2B, hashtag marketing, hashtag sales, hashtag Google, hashtag Yahoo. But you need to check out the description and click that link to check out the post and read more and learn more so you don't get left behind. Marketing Smarts viewers, I have to ask, will you be next to get the spotlight? Remember, community, use the hashtag MPB2B on Facebook, LinkedIn, and X and get the light shined on your awesomeness in the next episode or a future episode of the Marketing Smarts live show. Pro tip, it won't hurt if you tag me in your post as well. I'm at George B. Thomas on LinkedIn and X. Okay, let's kick it back to David Greenberg and some words of wisdom around this topic of generative AI-powered conversations and the Conversation Automation Index. Here's what David Greenberg wanted to leave you, the Marketing Smarts B2B marketer, with pertaining to words of wisdom.
The first thing that immediately comes into my mind is really step back and, I'm sort of dating myself here, but I've been like, when I started marketing, the fax machine was in. Okay. So I've seen 3 or 4 big revolutions happen. Marketing automation, mobile marketing, social media marketing. And having been in a marketing leadership position through all of those, this feels like the next big wave. And so I would just sort of offer out, like, it's going to be hard to ignore it. Imagine living in a place right now where you just were like, I ignore social media. Or if you're a B2C brand and you said, I'm ignoring mobile, it'd be impossible. You wouldn't succeed. So that's my words of wisdom.
Step back and look at how big of a shift this is. Are you looking at AI as the next big wave? Or are you ignoring it? This is not a variable marketing strategy or a viable marketing strategy moving forward, by the way, that ignoring it. Seriously, it's massive. And you're watching this and you haven't made the move. Time to make the move. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed today's journey? Let us know. Use that hashtag MPB2B on whatever platform you're joining us on. It's time. Time flies when you're having fun. Head to the description below. Click on the link to the full Marketing Sports podcast with David Greenberg and keep learning more about generative AI-powered conversations and the Conversation Automation Index. Go download that Conversation Automation Index as well. Remember, these were just a few clips of the original Marketing Sports podcast interview. If you got value from today's show, hit that like, and better yet, share it with a friend. To keep learning more, hit subscribe or watch additional MarketingProfs videos on your favorite social channel, or head over to our YouTube channel if you're not there yet. Or you can go tune into the original Marketing Sports podcast episode on your favorite podcast app. Don't forget to become part of the MarketingProfs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's mprofs.com/MP today. And as always, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble B2B marketing human. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing Smarts Live show next week.